Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing something that I haven't done so much of in the past, at least on this channel, and that's giving my personal opinion towards a controversial issue. So far, with Dead Matter, my content has been purely factual statements and information, which is how I'm going to keep things for the most part. However, recently I've had a lot of people coming over to my Twitch stream, DMing me and popping up over to my Discord to ask me about my stance on Dead Matter's recent update and what's looking like a short delay for the closed alpha, and just generally what I think of the whole thing. So in this video, I'm going to talk about other early access titles in a similar genre to Dead Matter, the recent Dead Matter update with regards to closed alpha, communication and development updates moving forward, and lastly, give my opinion on what I think should have been improved about the experience thus far, as well as my current standing on Dead Matter's development progress. A quick disclaimer before we get started, there's no new footage here. All of the footage in this video will be from recent developer vlogs. If you want to discuss anything Dead Matter with me or my community, you can pop over to my Discord in the description of this video. With that out of the way, let's get started. So I want to start this video by looking at some survival games in a similar kind of realm to Dead Matter and where these games could have been considered to go wrong in the past with regards to their release, content, and updates after the point of release. Something the Dead Matter developers are very aware of is the need to have a substantial amount of content available to players as soon as we're able to play it. Examples of former efforts from the likes of Scum, DayZ, and many other titles in the survival genre, and other genres for that matter, give us a clear reason as to why this needs to be the case. Scum was a great example of a game that was perceived by the community as not having enough content when it first hit the ground. The game simply didn't have enough to keep you busy. Dead Matter is aiming to avoid this wherever possible. In fact, its main reason given behind many of the delays the game has faced thus far is that they want to make sure that we have enough to do. First impressions in the gaming industry are hugely important. It's not exactly the same genre, but let's look at No Man's Sky for a moment. Over the years, it's had many improvements, but it's safe to say that the initial launch was an absolute disaster, with many features promised to players not being implemented when they got their hands on it. With indie developers, this is something that's even more important, because there's a very real possibility that development can't be funded moving forward if sales aren't going as expected due to poor reviews and a bad reception on initial launch. Now, let's look at delays in relation to this. Dead Matter has been a host to several delays in the past, although originally there was never a hard set date and more of a soft goal. This was always made clear until the most recent release date, aimed for June 2020. A developer update has been given recently which shows off some interesting new features surrounding the quest system, but also addressed the elephant in the room and stated that it's likely that Dead Matter won't be out in June, but it won't be long before we see it, and that the team hopes to get the game to us in July. This is down to a third party getting things in place to allow the game to launch successfully, but we have no confirmation on exactly what that is right now. Understandably, the team have received a lot of negative feedback in their Discord, most of which refers to the fact that the team used the words concrete with regards to a June release for closed alpha, which is no longer the case. Now, as many of you already know, I've had the chance to sit down with multiple members of the team to talk about their work in some of my other videos, as well as having conversation with them about various other features within the game, and to be honest, just general chat as well. The reason I mention this is that I feel very connected to the team and the work they're doing to ensure that Dead Matter is as good as it can be. I have absolute confidence in them, but I also talk to them regularly. This, I think, is where the root of the problem lies. Updates, information, and accessibility to that information. A lot of people aren't wired into all things Dead Matter, and when they hear a delay is coming, that's all they hear. The reason doesn't really matter, just that the game has been pushed back. My advice to everybody that's upset about this delay is to wire yourself in. Get involved in the Discord, keep up to date with their Twitter, and just get involved in some conversation as well in the Dead Matter Discord, because ultimately you're going to feel more in the loop if you are connected to these things. If not, you might not realize that things have passed until a few days afterwards, and then you're scrambling for some kind of information. Put simply, you'll feel more in the loop, and thus you will be more comfortable when things like this come up. Now, I don't want you to think that this is me telling you, just stay up to date, just be patient. That's not what I'm saying here, and I have come with a recommendation to the developers themselves on this as well. Keeping your community up to date should be a primary concern going forward. Weekly updates are now being put in place with regards to the current situation for closed alpha, which is a good sign the team intends to get this to us soon and is a step in the right direction. But I think it's fair of me to say that when rumors started with regards to the delay, many of us felt like we were waiting too long to hear for an official statement and being left in the dark. For it to then be announced that there was a delay, well, that hurts a lot of people's trust, regardless of the reason behind it. I think there's a lot that can be said for jumping out ahead of things like this and being proactive. So, to sum up, we have a good sign that steps are being taken going forward to keep everyone informed and that we'll hear regularly on the status of the closed alpha. But this needs to continue going forward so that we never feel out of the loop. As for my personal view on the delay, sure, I'm disappointed to hear that it's been pushed back, but it sounds as though there's little the team can do in this regard considering it's a third party that we're waiting on. However, I will say that setting a concrete date and then not meeting it is a bit of a kick in the nuts, even if the reason seems like a reasonable one. Having said that, I'm still hugely excited, and when it comes down to it, we're adding a single month to years of waiting. What's one more month? Be patient, and with any luck, it'll be worth the wait. As a bit of a PSA to all of you Dead Matter fans, before I wrap up, the team have opened up a suggest a quest thread on their forums for you to have a say in what quests make it into the game, and suggest your own. If you're interested in having your say, there's a link for this in the description. Have a good one, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one.